Hi, how are you? And welcome to Love Doing Yoga. I am delighted that you've joined us today. I hope you enjoy the practice that we've put together. And if you're doing our June challenge of 2 practices a week, well done. Congratulations on getting to the mat. And I hope if you need any inspiration or help in making your way through to the end of June, please do feel free to send us any comments or any suggestions, any requests that you might have. So as always, throughout the practice, listen to your body. Only do what feels right for you today. Obviously, I'm not able to see you, but I will give suggestions on modifications you can do to suit different people, different shapes and sizes. So, without further ado, let's make our way down to lying on the floor. Just getting yourself into a nice, comfortable position, whatever feels right for you today. You can have your knees bent or your legs out straight, or maybe the soles of your feet touching, whatever feels good. As we just begin to slow down, step away from the busyness and bustle of life. Set aside everything that's going on in your life and in the world right now. For the next hour, this is about you connecting your mind with your body through your breath. You have no roles, no responsibilities, nothing to do but spend time nourishing your body and your mind. Let's just begin to move inward, thinking about becoming still, focusing on the feet, bringing absolute stillness to the feet. Moving that attention upwards to the legs. Total stillness. Moving on upwards to the body. The only piece of movement is your breath as you slowly and rhythmically breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. Bringing stillness to your arms, to your hands and fingers. Bringing stillness to your head and eyes, and stillness to your mind. Allowing your tongue to just rest at the back of your teeth on the roof of your mouth. Your inner gaze centered towards your heart. And just listening to the sound of your breath. Surrounded by stillness. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And On our next inhale, we're going to bring our right knee up and just hug it in to the chest. And let's circle that right ankle. First in one direction, and then in the other. And then allowing that right foot to come to the earth, let's just take the left leg up and begin to circle the left ankle. And then bring it in the opposite direction. And bringing it to stillness, let's bend both knees, having both feet on the floor. And let's just allow the legs to move from the left to the right, to the left, to the right. And coming back to stillness here. And let's hug both knees into the chest. Gently massaging the back here in whatever way feels right for you. And coming to stillness, allowing that left foot to come to the earth. Let's just cross the right leg over the left, so your right foot, or just above your ankle, is resting on your left thigh near your knee. And as we're lying here, thinking about just pushing that right knee away from your center. As you exhale here, just think about lifting your pelvic floor gently on that exhale. And one more breath. And allowing that right foot to come to the earth, let's just take that over to the other side, keeping the left foot flexed. And just allowing that knee to move away from your center. And one more breath. And allowing the foot to come to the earth, hugging those knees again into the chest. And just allowing yourself to gently move from side to side as I give a few shout outs here. And my eyesight gets worse every day. The page falls down. Hi to Sheila and Catherine, Margaret, Clodagh, Carla and Debbie. Marie, Noreen, Antoinette, Pamela and Nuala. It's fantastic to have you all along, plus those who we're not sure of their names, but it's great to have you all along. I do hope you enjoy this practice. And from here, just letting the legs come up to the air. You can keep the knees a little bit bent here, and we're going to start to scissors them down. And as we scissors them down, just allowing the breath to flow easy. Good, one more time, up and down. And allowing them to come to a stop when they're up at the top. And bending the knees in, let the feet
come to the floor once more. And bringing our hands behind our head, we're going to cycle, and you can either cycle, bringing one slow cycle, if you like, with your arms just here behind your head, or if you want a little bit more, you can bring the opposite elbow up to meet the knee. Let's do that 10 more times. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, and hug those knees into the chest. And from here, let's just roll over onto the left side and make our way up to sitting. And as we're sitting here, you might want to get a block or a book to sit on. Just allowing your seat bones to come to the edge of the block if you have one. And really feeling those seat bones, and if like me you have a little bit of extra padding, you might want to just move the padding out of the way so that you can feel into the seat bones and feel yourself finding space from your seat bone all the way up through your spine to the crown of the head. Today's practice is really about focus, but focus being soft, gentle and steady, like that stillness and calmness we had at the start. So as we're sitting here for the next series of poses that we're going to go through, let's just find a little gaze point. Find a point that works for you. Soften your gaze into it. Sorry, Alan was sticking his tongue out, I think, hoping that would be my gaze point. No. And just taking a nice place that feels soft and gentle so that your focus, your eyes are softly looking at it, you're not intense. And as we inhale here, keeping that gaze soft, keeping that focal point, let's just breathe some extra space into our spine. Feel ourselves open up here. And bringing the hands together, just clasping them together, let's bring them up over the head. Keeping that soft gaze point, let's gently take it over to the left. Keeping the gaze point nice and soft, the mind still, listening to your breath, and making your way back up to center. Let's take it over to the right. One more breath here. And coming up to center, allowing the hands to come down by your side, lifting that right hand up, still keeping that soft, nice, relaxed gaze at the one spot as we take a further bend towards the left. One more breath here. And coming up straight, let's just move that over to the right. And one more breath. And coming up tall with both arms, let's put the right hand onto that left leg, the left hand behind us, and we're going to turn our head and our chest towards the short end of the mat. Bringing a little twist here, but again, finding a soft gaze point here. Keeping that chin over the center of the chest. And coming back to center, let's take that over to the right again. As you turn, finding a gaze point here. And coming back to center, bringing those hands behind you. Again, finding a gaze point in front of you as you open your chest out. One more breath. And coming to stillness, this time allowing the head to come down, the gaze to come in front of you as you come forward into a little bend. And bringing yourself back to center. Let's just flow through those movements. Just taking one breath in each place. So arms up above the head, keeping that gaze point. Let's take it over to the left. Back to the center. Take a breath. Let's take it to the right. Take a breath. Back to the center. Take a breath. Turning to the left. Take a breath. Back to the center. Take a breath. And turning to the right. Take a breath. Back to the center. Take a breath. Hands behind you, open the chest. Take a breath. Back to the center, take a breath. And coming forward, take a breath. Good, let's just do that one more time. Arms up, straight up, take a breath. And taking a bend to the left. And straight, bend to the right, and straight, turning to the left, and straight, turning to the right, and straight, hands behind, open the chest. And straight, hands in front, rounding through. Good, and making your way back up to the center again here, thinking about finding that space in the spine. And let's take it onto all fours. And when we're on all fours here, want to just check in with our alignment. So having your knees directly under your hips, feet straight out behind you. So when you look behind, you can't see your feet. The shoulders are over the wrists with a little micro bend in the elbows. We don't want to lock those arms. Good. Again, finding a gaze point here, or maybe you want to close your eyes here. We're going to do cat-cow, but we're going to do it really listening to your own body and what it's suggesting you do. So let's start off with our standard cat-cow. Dropping the belly, tilting the pelvis, opening the chest. We can gently raise the gaze here. And then curling through the spine into our cat. And drawing a line with our nose as we come into cow. And all the way back into cat once more like this. Just transitioning, feeling that spine move as we transition between the cat and the cow, and coming back to center here. And now let's just listen to our own body. Listen to your body and what it's suggesting. So maybe you want to start moving your shoulders. Maybe you want to bring the hips into it. Maybe you want to start drawing circles with your hips or moving back and forward. Really just going with what your body is suggesting here. Closing the eyes and just listening to yourself. Really starting to feel yourself loosen up here. And then coming to stillness. Good. And from here, we're going to step back into a plank. And in our plank, still keeping that micro bend in the elbows. And having those heels directly over the toes. And that gaze on the mat in front of you. Good. You can stay here. If you're finding this tough, you can come onto your knees. Or if you'd like to bring a little bit more challenge into it, let's just raise our left leg up and bring it down. And raise our right leg up and bring it down. And left and right, keeping that focal point nice and soft as you move from one leg lift to the other. And once more on either side. Good, and bringing the knees to the floor. Pushing back into a nice hare pose with those arms stretched out in front of you. And making your way back up onto all fours. If your wrists are getting a little tired here, you might just want to turn them over so your fingers are pointing towards you for a minute, and then turn them back. And maybe just do a few wrist circles just to loosen them out a bit. From here, we're going to push up into our downward dog. So curling those toes. Let's push the hips back to the heels. Lift the knees up off the floor and pushing that pelvis up. And we're early on in our practice, so keep those knees bent for now and just start pedaling out the feet. Until you come to your point of stillness. Wherever that may be, that can be with your knees bent and your heels up off the floor. That's absolutely fine. But as we're here and upside down, bring that gaze towards your belly button. Good. Let's take one more breath here. And then let's raise that right leg up. And bring it down. And raise the left leg up. And bring it down. And the right leg up. And down. And left leg up. And down. Still keeping that gaze nice and soft as we move from one leg to the other. And next time you lift up your right leg, let's keep it up and let's bend the knee and open it up. So we're almost like a dog peeing. Holding it here for 2 breaths. And allowing the leg to come down. Let's do the same with the left leg. Lifting the left leg up, bending the knee as we open up. One more breath. And allowing that leg to come down, bending the knees and coming all the way down into a child's pose. Having a little rest here. And one more breath. Coming up onto all fours. Let's step the right foot forward. So as we're here, we want to have this right knee over the right ankle. That just protects the knee and the ankle. And from here, I'm going to just lift up, putting our hands onto our right leg. You can stay here like this, or if you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, you can just lift that knee up off the floor. Let's take 3 breaths here. Great to lift that knee off the floor if you've got any knee issues. One more breath. And let's put the hands either side of that foot and curl of the right foot, curl that left foot, the left toes underneath, and lift the leg right up this time as we come up to a high lunge. Pushing out through that left heel, keeping the weight on the right foot. Good. One more breath. And from here, we're going to bring the arms behind us. Two more breaths here. And let's raise those arms forward. Keeping that soft gaze point just ahead of the foot. And then let's raise the arms up. One more breath. Well done, really good. I'm sure your legs are shouting at you. And step back into a plank and just pedal your legs out here in the plank. Good, and come to stillness. And allowing the knees to come to the floor. Let's step that left foot forward. Now you know what's coming. From here, having that left knee over the left ankle and staying like this, or if you want, you can lift that right knee just a little bit off the floor. Good. 2 more breaths. And bringing the hands down either side of the foot, allowing that right knee to come to the floor if it was up, curling the right toes, and now lifting that right leg up, right up off the floor and pushing out through that right heel. Good. And bringing both hands onto that left leg, finding a gaze point just ahead of your feet, your left foot. Think about the shoulders softening here. Keeping that gaze point soft. And and allowing the arms to come behind you. One more breath here. Good. Keep that gaze point nice and soft, bringing those arms running up alongside of your ear. One more breath. And let's rise it up, allowing your gaze to look straight in front of you. One more breath. And hands down either side of that foot, stepping back into your plank. Hey, bet you didn't know a plank could feel so good. And pedal it out. Good. And bringing those knees to the floor, pushing back into your hare or child's pose. One more breath. And making your way back onto all fours, curling those toes, pushing the hips back as we come up into our downward dog, having a nice long spine here. And let's just walk those feet up to meet the hands. And as we get up here, with our knees as bent as they need to be, feet just a little bit apart, maybe hip distance apart, we're going to bend right down into a squat. So you can let your heels come up off the floor if you need to, that's no problem. Just having a nice straight squat here. And then let's begin to make our way into a forward fold. And your forward fold can have your knees as bent as they need to be for you. And bringing those arms out to the side, let's rise all the way up to the top and bring the hands into prayer. Good, taking 2 breaths here. And bringing the hands onto the hips, we're going to just step a long ways on the mat, allowing your feet to point outward as we sink down into a squat here. Good, and bringing the arms up. So they're cactus arms. Good, one more breath here. And hands onto the hips, turning that right foot to the front. Let's turn the left foot, and we want them about hip distance apart. Bending that right knee. Raising the arms up to warrior 1. Having those hips nice and square. Good, you can raise that gaze upward, but remembering to keep it soft. And we're going to come into a forward fold over this front leg. So bending at the hip, allowing the chest to come forward. So we're reaching with the chest. And then the arms to come down, hands to come down either side of that front leg. Good. One more breath here. And bringing that back foot forward, we're just going to raise it up. Good, keeping that soft gaze on the mat. And slowly allowing that foot to come to the floor as we make our way back up to warrior 1. Hands onto the hip and turning around into our squat for a breath. And let's take that to the other side. So left foot comes to the front, stepping that right foot across so we're at hip distance apart, squaring up those hips, keeping a bend in this left knee as we rise up into our warrior one. Nice soft gaze. One more breath. And then coming forward, really leading with the chest as we come to forward fold over that front leg. Good, keeping that left knee bent. And then hopping the right foot forward a little bit as we come to raise it up. Good, one more breath, soft focus. And allowing that right foot to come to the earth, bending that left knee as we rise up again to our warrior one. And back again to our squat. And let's heel toe in together and make our way to the top of the mat. Reaching those arms up tall, let's forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to in your forward fold. And halfway lift. And forward fold. Let's step that right leg back, dropping the right knee. Open out the foot and rise up into our low lunge. And hands down either side of that foot. We're going to step back into a plank. And from here, we're going to just push straight back into a dog. Good, really finding length in the spine here. And let's open our legs out into a wide-legged dog. And in our wide-legged dog, we can really now begin to push those hips back towards the back of the mat. Have your knees as bent as you need them to be. And really pushing the hips back so you can feel that length in the spine. And we're going to just walk the hands in until we become level, till our hands are under our shoulders. Let's take 2 breaths here. And let's walk those hands over to the left. Keep your knees as bent as they need to be here. One more breath. And walking the hands back to the center. And let's walk them out into our nice wide-legged dog again, pushing those hips back. One more breath here, feeling that length and space. And let's walk the hands back to the center and over to the right. One more breath. And walking the hands back to the center one last time into that nice long downward dog. Walking the hands back, let's raise them up and bring them behind us, clasping them behind your back as you raise them up over your head and really begin to come deep into this forward fold. Keep your knees as bent as they need to be. And one more breath here. Let's bring the hands back to the center and heel toe our feet together. So we're nearly there. We're about 2/3 of the way there. In fact, most of your hard work is done. Your resting time is getting there. Let's bend those knees. Keep the seat down as we come up into our chair. Raising the arms up. Good, one more breath here. And let's bring those hands together, bringing that right elbow onto the left knee, or just above the left knee, for a nice little twist here. And allowing that right hand to come to the floor, raising that left hand up. Good, one more breath here. And coming back to the center, let's just take that twist to the right. And bringing the left hand down, raising up that right hand. And right hand comes down. And let's come all the way up to standing. Good stuff. We're almost finished all the standing poses now. Let's just raise those arms up and run through a sun salute on either side. Forward fold. And halfway lift. And forward fold. Stepping that right leg back, dropping the knee, open out the foot, and come up into your low lunge. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping back into your plank. And bringing those knees to the floor. Open out the feet, chest down, keeping those elbows in, rolling through into a cobra. And pushing up through your tabletop into your now very familiar downward dog. And we're going to get that right leg up between the hands by whatever means works for you. So if you want to lift it and encourage it, please do. And drop that left knee, open out the foot, rise up into a low lunge. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping that back foot up to meet the front, open out the arms and come all the way up. Good. Sweeping those arms out to the side into a forward fold. And halfway lift. And forward fold. Let's step that left leg back, dropping the knee, open out the foot. Come up into your low lunge. And hands down. Either side of the foot, step back into your plank. And then knees, feet, chest. Roll through to a cobra. And coming through tabletop up into your dog. Bringing that left leg up between the hands by whatever means, dropping the right knee, open out the foot, and come up into your low lunge. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping that back foot up to meet the front, and coming all the way up to the top. Well done. Raising those arms up and coming into a forward fold. And halfway lift. And forward fold. Let's step the right leg back and then the left. And let's make our way to sitting. Good. And from here, sitting up nice and tall. Hands either side of your hips. Toes pointing up to the ceiling. And keeping that gaze nice and soft. And as we feel ourselves here sitting equally on both seat bones, all of that space we've created now open. Good.
bending those knees up, we're going to begin to come forward with our chest. So we're reaching forward with the chest so the chest comes onto the tops of our thighs, and let's just put our hands onto our feet here. Keeping that nice straight spine, that soft gaze on your focal point. And making your way back up to sit. Let those legs come out straight as you allow yourself to make your way all the way down to lying down on the mat. And from here, bending those knees, having those feet on the floor. Let's allow those knees to fall over to the left, and with your left foot, if you're able to, just bring it behind you and hold on to that left foot with your right hand. And with your right foot, if you're able to, you can just grab onto your big toe there with your left hand and bring it across, keeping that gaze now up at the ceiling as you really just allow that stretch to work its way into your legs that have worked really hard for you for the last 40 minutes or so. Two more breaths here. And allowing the feet, letting them go, bringing those knees together as you come back to the center, and let's just allow that to come over to the other side. So knees coming over to the right. If you are able to reach your right foot with your left hand, do, and your left foot with your right hand, and your left foot can go wherever works for it. So it could be up here, or if you can bring it out to the side, do. So just go with what works for you. And with your eyes closed, or a gentle gaze on a focal point. And one more breath. And allowing both feet to come back to the center, hugging them into your chest as you just massage your back on the mat in whatever way feels right for you. And coming to stillness, just allow the feet to come to the floor and get yourself prepared for Shavasana, your final resting position. And as you're getting yourself ready, I will just take this opportunity to thank you all so much for coming to the practice today. I hope you enjoyed it. We are here live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. If you're doing our June challenge of 2 practices a week, well done. You've got today's one done. Tick that box and do join us again on Wednesday or Friday, or if those days don't suit, you can access all of our past practices if you become a patron from as little as €5 a month, so great value, and it gives you access to all of our practices at a time that suits you best. So thank you again for coming along,
Do let any of your friends know if you think they may enjoy it. And I'll be back here on Wednesday at 6. So I will bid you namaste at this point in the proceedings and invite you now to just allow your body to absorb all of that work that is just done. As you begin to really let go, letting go your fingers, letting go the palms of your hands, the backs of your hands, your wrists and forearms, letting go your elbows and upper arms, armpits and shoulders, the whole of your arms, just letting it go. Letting go your shoulder blades and chest, the back of your rib cage and spine, the front of your rib cage and belly, your pelvic area, glutes. Letting go the fronts of your thighs, backs of your thighs, the fronts of your knees, backs of your knees. Letting go your shins and calves, ankles, heels, tops of the feet, soles of the feet, toes, the whole of your legs, just letting them go. Letting go the back of your head, crown of your head, your forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, jaws, chin, lips and tongue. Just let it all go. Allowing that inner gaze to drop towards your heart center as you gently breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. And taking a moment of gratitude here to your body, to yourself for doing the practice, and for everything you have to be grateful for today. And connected with that breath, just allowing yourself to be held by the mat. As you spend a little time here in total rest.